A shaky day on Wall Street to start the week as U.S. stocks ended mixed and crude oil prices stayed above $100 a barrel. The Dow ended up nearly 50 points after a short dip into the red today. Let's take a look at our interactive stock market heat map brought to you by FinViz, showing the top 500 stocks. A drop in tech stocks dragged down the NASDAQ, and the S&P finished a little bit lower today, but you see kind of a mix of green and red there on the board. Let's bring in Yahoo Finance senior reporter Brooke DiPalma. Brooke, great to see you. The average price in the U.S. for gas is $3.99, up nearly $1 since the war began. So how much higher could oil and gas prices go up? Is there any limit?
Well, the unfortunate news here is that it's very likely, based on sources that I spoke to, that we will see $4 per gallon for the national average this week, which is definitely some sad news for consumers who are already thinking about how this is going to impact their wallet. On top of that, we have seen diesel prices rise to about $5.40. That's up from about $3.75 a month ago. And this is all because we've seen these major moves in crude oil and Brent oil as well. Brent is on track for its largest monthly gain on record. We also have WTI U.S. crude, which is now settling above $100 per a barrel for the first time since July of 2022. And there's no relief yet. What really needs to happen is for that Strait of Hormuz to effectively open. But now we could see some ripple effect from there. And on top of that, too, what we need here is for this sustained momentum to sort of come at a standstill, come at a halt, but we're seeing the ripple effects already happen. We had Alaska Airlines warn of an impact on earnings. We heard from others, as well as United CEO, that we could see higher airline tickets because of higher jet fuel costs. And also other implications here, fertilizer costs, that could hit farmers, higher helium costs could hit the chip market. And so there are lots of implications here moving forward. No relief coming anytime soon as long as this war goes on.
And Brooke, what's the possible impact on inflation, and what other factors are playing into all of this? Are we going to see eventually higher prices at the grocery store? I know we already are in some cases.
Right. Well, what we are seeing is that with higher diesel costs, that could have immediate hit on food, which is, of course, perishable. Therefore, it ships out faster. Therefore, those diesel costs have a direct flow through more effectively. And this could have a ripple effect on inflation moving forward, maybe in the coming reports, maybe not in the next CPI report out next week, but in reports after that. But Fed Chair Jerome Powell said ultimately the U.S., that interest rates right now in the U.S. are at a good place to respond to this oil price shock that we're seeing in the Middle East. But they sort of have a tough job here because it is, in fact, going to raise prices, but it's largely what they say. They're taking a sort of a wait and see approach to see if this is sort of a one-time supply shock or if this will have a lingering effect on prices to come. Right now, though, no moves yet. After Fed Chair Jerome Powell did speak in an event at Harvard in Massachusetts, we sort of saw the odds of a Fed cut, or rather a Fed hike, come down lower. And now economists, based on who I'm hearing from, still expect that 1 to potentially 2 rate cuts in 2026. So the ripple effect, certainly.
Brooke DiPalma, always great to see you. Thanks so much.